What is going on, everybody? It is episode 930 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, crisis actors. It's Mary. I hope you
She's
didn't
back.
forget me. I am back. You now know that I was in Rome for all of last week.
Yeah, I didn't mention it. I didn't mention where you were.
Yeah, that was intentional. And as great of a time as I had, I so missed home. And now I'm finally back in the US of A. So you're welcome if this is an especially xenophobic episode.
I was going to say, you got any immediate hot... Well, actually, first, before we get into that, Tate is back.
What's up, Patriots? How's everyone doing?
Back in... You were in Arizona last week.
I was in Arizona. It's kind of like the Italy of America in a lot of ways when you really think about it.
Really?
Yeah. It's hotter than the rest of the continent. There's people are kind of gay there. I think the men, especially, they're a little light and loafers, a little fruity. There's a lot of similarities.
Okay, so before we get started, you should at least give everybody your gripe. I guess they don't have to just be
recap.
gripes.
Look, I don't want to, crap on an entire country because I only saw a small part of it. But I have a lot of complaints, and it's because I don't know. I didn't realize that. An American would be so out of place. It's just because everything is so globalized. I figured a lot about a major city like Rome would also be, globalized, and I would find a lot of familiarity there. But here's the number one problem with my experience in Rome. The bathrooms are revolting, and they do not have standards of sanitation there. And that goes across the board for any coffee shop or McDonald's or the nicest restaurant there. It's just gross. You know how there are signs in American restaurants, bathrooms that say employees must wash their hands? Yep. They don't have that there. That's not the law. And if it's not disgusting, it's also non-functional. There was a guy who lives there I was talking to, and he said that Romans historically have this affinity for controlling water.
Okay.
Because of the aqueducts. And I was like, that's interesting because you guys don't even have basic plumbing here. Half of the toilets in Rome do not flush. And it's nasty. It's actually revolting, disgusting. And you might hear it in my voice. I'm sick right now, and I think it's because they just don't have basic standards of hygiene and sanitation.
Your immune system would have had to catch up over time.
Yeah, I'm getting over something right now. Yeah. So that was the number one problem. People there are also very rude, and
Very rude.
I don't think they were just being rude to me because I'm American. I think they're just generally rude.
Yeah.
I thought that was the French that were rude.
I went to Rome 5 years ago, and I got that sense that they just have an axe to grind with white foreigners too. They specifically, I think, because it's kind of there's a proportion of the city that's very lib, and they don't care about foreigners. It's the white, specifically American foreigners, they do have an axe to grind with, and it's the most bizarre thing ever.
I didn't feel singled out. I just thought, they're all
I was with a group of Americans, to be fair.
They're rude to each other too. And they don't even know that they're being rude. It's just the way that they are.
It's like going to New York. There's a different attitude from people in New York than there is from people in...
It's weirdly the opposite of New York in so many ways, because in New York, it's nobody wants anything to do with you. It's F off, stay away from me. Then no one wants to talk to you or walk near you. And then in Rome, they just walk touching each other, everything, and no one has any concept of a single file line. I was at a coffee shop. I got cut in line blatantly by a priest.
Yeah.
I think it's just because they don't even think of that as rude there. They just don't have lines. There's no Anglo-Saxon order being imposed on anything. And I guess this is a libertarian principle already, that freedom and order are inherently opposed, and you can only have one or the other. They have neither there. They have neither freedom nor order anywhere in Rome.
It's a terrifying middle to be stuck in.
However, the outside of everything looks nice, and the food is good. However, I will say American pizza is better.
Facts.
And they don't even slice your pizza for you. You're supposed to cut it with a fork and knife.
Yeah.
It's easier to cut steak with a fork and knife than a pizza.
The weird thing
Makes
with
no sense.
the Romans is they or the Italians in general is they will talk to you, but then they get exasperated like super quick. Like,
Yeah.
So it's like
like right
talking to me.
away, they're just immediately fed up with talking
Well,
to you.
I was very chauvinistic about it. I refused to try to speak Italian because that was going to piss them off. It already pisses them off that I'm not from there, so why should I even try?
Right.
And they all knew how to speak English. It was fine.
Bad
But,
Bunny
like,
would not approve. Bad Bunny would say that they should actually learn your language.
Bad Bunny would go to Rome and speak Spanish because that's he wants to impose himself.
Actually, the funny version is he goes
Wherever
and
he
speaks
is.
English just because it's the more offensive language to ask
Right.
about.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
whatever is more rude and an imposition on whoever lives there is that's what Bad Bunny is going to do.
Well, that's something we're going to be talking about today, as a matter of fact. So, guys, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share this episode out with everybody in your life that you both love and hate. The more people that you share the content with, the faster this channel can grow. And as always, I encourage you to argue with people down in the comments section about whatever it is we're talking about. It increases our engagement and helps out a lot. So, what are we talking about today? Well, we are going to talk about Emma Watson. There's more clips that have gone around from her interview on the Jay Shetty podcast, where she basically talks about marriage as it's an act of violence to ask a woman if she's getting married, basically.
Literally everything but violence is violence.
Yes. So we're going to talk about that, what the expectations are for women in marriage. We're also going to talk about Bryan. He decided that he is going to try this in a small town because he's talking about the dangers of ice raids. I didn't actually predict that anybody would write like an ice raid diss track this year, but he has done so, and we are going to discuss that. We are also going to talk about Bad Bunny, who says that if you want to watch the Super Bowl halftime show, you should just learn Spanish. We've got that. We've got Taylor Swift news. We got a bunch of other stuff. Loli Young, whole bunch of other things to get into. Mary, if you are ready, we can get started with your welcome back episode. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. I'm
Good.
more than ready.
Then let's go for it.
As you already know, Taylor Swift released her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, on Friday last week, and she has officially responded to the backlash she's receiving, not from haters or normies, but her own fan base. A lot of the Swifties are undergoing some sort of like deprogramming. They're like unlearning their unconditional support for her. Not even they can defend this album. And here's what she had to say about that. The rule of show business is if it's the first week of my album release and you're saying either my name or my album title, you're helping. And art, I have a lot of respect for people's subjective opinions on art. I'm not the art police. It's like everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they want. And what our goal is as entertainers is to be a mirror. Oftentimes, an album is a really wild way to look at yourself. What you're going through in your life is going to affect whether you relate to the music that I'm putting out at any given moment. So it's not me, it's you, is what she's saying.
I mean, no, I see nothing wrong with this statement. What she's saying is that, look, if you have a subjective opinion that's different than mine, that's fine. Okay, it's wordy, right? And it's a bit avant-garde in its phrasing, but some actors could learn a lesson or two from this interpretation of it.
Well, I think what she's trying to say is if you dislike my album, it says more about you than me as an artist.
I mean, I think it's just saying that you're going to have different life experiences that colors your opinion in a specific way. I don't think she's saying like it's your problem, not mine. She's saying that the point is that it is subjective. That's the main word.
Well, I disagree with the idea that art is subjective anyway.
We have two 20s that we missed. One from Shane H. Wilder first.
Sorry about that, Shane. Happy National Taco Day, Brett, Mary, and Tate. Welcome back from Rome, Mary. I'm glad someone I know was able to visit for the Jubilee. Get them plenary indulgence. The Ghost Blend should be in soon. Oh, hi, Brett and Tate.
We forgot to
That's
do
correct.
that.
My cast brew flavor, Mary's Ghost Blend, is officially out now. So go ahead and buy that. The link is also on my Instagram story I posted shortly before the show. But
There it is.
I didn't know that it came out. No one told me.
You were gone. You were out of the country.
No one told me, and I was out of the country, so I was a little out of the loop on that. But yes, you should go get Mary's Ghost Blend. It's s'mores flavored.
She came in
which
this
was my
morning.
idea.
When she came in this morning, I said, I shouted out the coffee the last 2 days on the show. She goes, it's out.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I didn't know. I was doing the ads today for Cass Brew, and I was looking for Ian's, and I clicked page 2, and I was like, oh, Mary has a coffee. Everyone go buy Mary's coffee. I didn't know.
There's another.
Hype it up.
There's another 20 from Santos Chavez says, boo.
Oh,
Like a ghost.
dude.
Like Mary's ghost
Jeez,
blend.
trigger
Okay.
warning, bro.
Okay, we're going to
Continue.
jump back into the topic. Yeah, I disagree with the idea that art is subjective. I think that this album is objectively bad.
But she's not saying art is subjective. She's saying art analysis is subjective. So you can
That's
have
what I mean,
an understanding of what it means, but you're, like I say it all the time on the show. The mood I'm in when I go see a movie will absolutely color what I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, if your analysis of a certain piece of art is, for instance, you think that the banana taped to the wall is beautiful, it's a masterpiece. You're wrong. You're objectively wrong if you think that.
She says
that's just my take.
She says it's not that everybody. She says it's not like everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they want. It's like everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they want. She's giving you permission to dislike it for whatever reason.
Okay,
you
no
want.
one needed her permission, and
I mean, no, because these questions are getting asked because she's doing interviews. They're like, oh, look, it's the interviewer's job to ask her questions that might make her a little bit, if they're like we did last week, it's like, why are all the interviews these days so bad? Remember? It's like, it's your job as an interviewer if this album's getting a larger percentage of backlash than the other albums have gotten to at least ask the question, and she gave the exact right corporate answer.
some of the backlash, maybe even most of the backlash that she's getting is from people who ordinarily would be celebrating her. Some fans of hers, people in her target demographic, young women. And a lot of that backlash is because of the message they believe that this album is sending through her lyrics. They think Taylor Swift is pushing women down an alt-right pipeline because there are certain lyrics in a few of her songs that suggest she now aspires to marriage and family life over her career, over material things. And I pulled up a few of her songs to exemplify that. EV Magazine, of course, jumped on it, and they published these headlines. In the life of a showgirl, Taylor Swift fantasizes about a normal life and having kids. Another one says Taylor Swift dreams of the trad life in her newest album.
I mean, even that is just, it's such a loaded word.
I can't.
It's an annoyingly loaded word that immediately gives people, especially people who don't share your views, it gives them the ick.
So, first off, what people latched onto...
Imagine you're just like a normal person who isn't politically brained, and you're a stay-at-home mom, okay? You've got your kids, your husband goes to work, you're a normal person, and then like Benny Johnson comes in and is like, oh, so you're a trad wife?
Yeah.
She's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I think like everyone is politicizing it both from the left and the right to a point that's just nonsensical and detached from reality.
She's a trad
but
wife. She only works part-time.
these were their...
I mean, that's basically being a trad wife now.
The lyrics that they focused on and used as evidence of that, whether or not they were praising it, came from a few different songs. One lyric in Eldest Daughter on this album says, when I said I don't believe in marriage, that was a lie. And another part says, probably to Travis, when you found me, I said I was busy, that was a lie. And in
okay,
another
that's
song,
a lie. She's Taylor Swift. She's literally always busy. She was not sitting at home eating Cheez-Its. She's got stuff to do.
In another song called Wish List, this is all about how other people aspire to material success. And that's fine. And they deserve to have what they want. And that's great that they want to, go on yachts and ride in helicopters and earn awards. But she just wants to get married and have kids.
Yeah.
Which is hard to believe from Taylor Swift,
I mean, look, they
who
did ask her-
obviously cares deeply about commercial success and still does.
They did ask her in these interviews recently, like, does this mean you're going to retire from music? And she's like, no, that's absurd.
Well, here was the lyric that people were quoting from this song called Wish List. I just want you, have a couple kids, got the whole block looking like you. We tell the world to leave us the F alone, and they do. Got me dreaming about a driveway with a basketball hoop. Boss up, settle down, got a wish list. And she's also making a backhanded comment in this song about people who aspire to have dogs and call them their children.
Doggos.
Which is odd coming from a woman who just last year proudly called herself a childless cat lady. Seems like a very dramatic turn. 180 on her self-identification. And, you know, I'm not really interested in all of that. I don't really find the conversation about whether Taylor Swift is an aspiring trad wife interesting. I think she's just a normal person who planned on getting married anyway and planned on having a family anyway, and this is when it happened for her, and it's not political. I have a problem with other things in this album and the lyrics of a few of these songs. Mainly that I think she's just like really insecure about getting old and not being cool anymore, and she told ChatGPT like, make me a song that sounds like Sabrina Carpenter, and went with it. It's just like really millennial, like trying to use internet slang, and it's not quite hitting. In Eldest Daughter, she starts out saying, everybody's so punk on the internet, everyone's unbothered till they're not. Every joke's just trolling and memes. Sad as it seems, apathy is hot. Everybody's cutthroat in the comments. Every single hot take is cold as ice. I am afflicted by a terminal uniqueness. I've been dying just from trying to seem cool. But I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage. No one even says bad bitch anymore in 2025. No one says savage in 2025. And this is our Shakespeare of a generation. Like, she's praised not for her vocals, not for her dancing, not even really for her visuals that often. She's praised for her lyricism, and this is the lyricism. I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage. Like, I cringed so hard when I heard that. I turned off the song. And this is even worse.
2016.
Wood is another song on this album, which is entirely about Travis Kelce's penis. And it's not, you know, that veiled of a metaphor. Here's part of that song. All of that bitching, wishing on a falling star never did me any good. I ain't got to knock on wood. Oh gosh. And then, forgive me, it sounds cocky. And then she censors herself. It says, he dickmatized me and opened my eyes.
Okay, that
Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened my thighs. Girls, I don't need to catch the bouquet to know a hard rock is on the way. The curse on me was broken by your magic wand. And then gives a shout out to his podcast, New Heights of Manhood. I ain't gotta knock on wood.
I don't think that somebody had to have told her to use the term dickmatize.
But she didn't even own it and say dickmatize. She goes like, in the part where she would have said dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess thanks Taylor Swift for popularizing the term, because I've been saying that I've been using the word dickmatized for a while and nobody knows what I'm talking about. But here's the problem. No one believes Taylor Swift is horny. No one is ever going to believe that. She's known for her lack of sex appeal, and she's just one of those people that, despite on paper being a sex symbol, this leggy, blonde, with a nice face, red lipstick, all of the things, she's not sexual. She will never be seen as sexual, and it's weird to insist on that.
It's not something
in this song.
It's not something you can control.
Right.
It's something it's like when people used to use the word swag. It's like it's not tangible. It's something that's just is.
No one believes that Taylor Swift is driven by sexual desires.
It would be like if I was out here trying to act like really cool and unique and like special, but it's just like the pull for some people will always be that they're just kind of a normal person, and then they try to act differently.
But this is like also, I'm trying to be raunchy because that's in right now, and my successor, Sabrina Carpenter, is having a lot of success in leaning into that sex appeal and writing lyrics about sex that are not that clever. Like Sabrina's new album has a song called House Tour that's about her vagina. Okay, I have to like remain cool by making a song about sex, right? Like that's in right now. It's not organic.
No, it
and
doesn't feel
it's
like
not
it to me,
believable.
I guess my point to yesterday was like her image to me, which is funny because, you know, being the uber capitalist that she is that I think to the average person, she thrives on the idea that she could still be a teenage girl writing lyrics in her bedroom, despite the fact that she'd be writing them on a multi-million-dollar tour bus or airplane that she owns. She has an image that kind of goes hand in hand with a sense of innocence. So, you know, the lyrics are never going to be something I'm going to critique because I can barely hear anyways. So, you know, songs are all vibes for me. As I said yesterday, I kind of snuck in my review of certain songs in the album. But most of it is like, you know, it's just, it's like when television shows on network TV tried to get spicy and you're like, can you not do that?
Yeah.
But it's like, or no, it's like when I point out, so in, I can pair it back to television. So when they gave Tony and Ziva a spinoff on NCIS and they moved it to Paramount Plus, suddenly they're saying the F word a bunch. I'm like, I've never heard you guys say the F word in 12 seasons. Why are you saying the F word now? You just seem like some lame writer was like, it'll be cool if we swear more.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
It's like the same cringe factor as like the scripts that James Gunn writes. It's like Reddit tier F-bombs being
so is this
about.
Tumblr tier content for her?
It's just cringy. That's all I'm saying. It's cringy and it's not believable that it's actually from her. I think this is her trying to chase a trend and chase relevancy when she's being eclipsed by a new star. And Sabrina Carpenter even was featured on this album. Yep. As for the supposed cancellation of Taylor Swift, even though I have seen plenty of examples of young women criticizing her for her lyrics about family, I think that the only takeaway is that we're in a seriously... we're in deep shit if people really start to believe that getting married and having kids is inherently conservative. It's not. And it's not a
Creates
form of
a dividing
political
line where there doesn't need to
rebellion.
be one.
Yeah, they're liberals get married, like they do. They have kids.
Most of my friends that are like the most liberal are all married with kids, and that's because they, some of them became hyper political, but they got married and have kids before that ever happened because it was just the normal thing to do.
Yeah, but yeah, just to punctuate this segment, I want to show a bit from this comedian named Charlene Kay, who predicted exactly how this album would sound to a T.
Here we go.
Because it all sounds the same.
Wait.
You want to sing a Taylor Swift song? I figured out the industry secret. Here's the formula. She starts every song in C. She goes, this is a verse that I'm singing in a major key. It's gonna move to a minor 6 eventually. And to the 4, cause we're wistful and unsure. Then to the 5, it's questioning and bright. A breathy pre-chorus. When we kissed back at my house. A breathy pre-chorus. With some backing vocals right here. And then I'm singing really low, just to keep you on your toes. About Maddie, about Joe. Right before I hit the chorus. Baby, I will love you evermore. You wrote me that letter saying, are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the crash out the slammer? I know it's gonna go to the bridge. And I'm singing the bridge really fast, yeah. Closest thing I can get to rapping. And I'm singing the bridge really fast, yeah. Closest thing I can get to rapping. Sometimes I speak it just like this. Conversational just like your best friend. What's coming up next? You guessed it. We're going back to the core. That is how you play it.
That's exactly what it sounded like. And I was hoping for like showgirl, like big band, you know, like a different sound. And it wasn't. We have a 20 from Phil That Remains. Thank God you're back, Mary.
I think he's sick of doing the show.
Thank you for subbing in for me, Phil.
We appreciate it.
We all appreciate you.
All right, let's move on. We got more to get into.
Yeah, so I think the entire entertainment industry is suffering from a human capital problem, and they have a shortage of excellence. And this is especially a problem with the Gen Z artists who are rising in the pop music world. Lola Young is one of them. These Gen Z artists are not just cringy, not just politically outspoken leftists. They're also lazy, and they're not willing to work.
We've talked about her before.
Yeah. We have talked about Lola Young before because of her outrageous, disgusting lyrics. Her new album is called I'm Only Effing Myself. And she's defiantly fat and has piercings all over her face and, you know, all of the expected things. But last week, what caught my attention is that she was playing a set at this music festival called All Things Go. And in the middle of her performance, she turns to someone who is off the stage, on the side of the stage, and she looks like she's asking for help. And then she collapses dramatically.
Here.
Yeah, let's take a look here. She stops singing and she's looking at someone off camera. And she's then stumbling and just drops the mic and falls over. Her legs fly into the air. She's faking it, guys.
Yeah, that's the fake.
That's not real, okay? And I have no proof. I'm just gonna say that she's faking. It's so obvious. That is not how you faint. That is not how people look when they faint.
Yeah, you don't like protect your head and land on your butt.
No one like falls directly onto their butt to, you know, cushion the blow of falling on the floor. You also, usually when you faint, you fall forwards, not backwards, and you don't throw your legs up in the air like a cartoon, like slipping on a banana peel, okay? It's fake.
So is the new, so like people are already tired of
That is ridiculous! Instant replay that. That is insane.
She's sitting like upright.
That is insane.
Did she use her hands
that anyone believes
Yeah,
that.
she used her hands.
How dumb do you have to be to believe that that's real?
So like people are sick of and tired of hearing celebrities talk about how much they work, how hard they work, et cetera, et cetera. So is the new way of signaling how hard you work just fainting? Like,
Well, I mean, this is what I
Going
said,
back
like,
to the Victorian
Yeah.
era, this girl needs a fainting couch. She needs smelling salts.
Yeah.
the other, like, it was like when the show started and like Shawn Mendes is like, I'm just not going to do tour anymore because I'm taking a mental health break. I'm like,
This is
bitch,
ridiculous.
you made commitments. Honor your commitments.
This is ridiculous that anyone believes this is real. And then all this sympathy started getting poured out for her. One of them said, in the past few months, I've seen this girl puke, run off stage crying, and faint mid-performance. Genuinely, is she okay? And why did her team not realize that something was wrong yet again? You know, it's just her record label. They're working her like a dog. It's outrageous. She's like a slave. Yeah, you're tired. Imagine how tired we are. Imagine how tired we are.
Try being an influencer.
Try
for a
being a
day.
pop star for a day. Try it.
Try being a
Because the
vaccinated
people who think
pop
this is
star.
easy are so out of their minds.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. And what astounded me more than Lola Young's behavior, like fainting, like pretend fainting on stage like a toddler, is how easily people bought that narrative. She's just lazy. And then she followed up her collapse on stage with this post announcing she's going on indefinite hiatus, saying, I'm going away for a while. It pains me to say I have to cancel everything for the foreseeable future. Thank you all for the love and support. I'm so sorry to let anyone down who's bought a ticket to see me. It hurts me more than you know. Obviously, you will be entitled to a full refund. I really hope you'll give me a second chance once I've had some time to work on myself and come back stronger. Love you all, Lola. So this just means I'm lazy, I don't want to work, and I don't even care enough about making money to, you know, push through and power through these performances. That's another thing that bothers me about these Gen Z artists, especially, for instance, Chapel Roan. They don't care about making money off of their art, and they think that that's virtuous. They think it's virtuous to forego the opportunity to make a profit off of their art. They think that commercial success is corrupting in and of itself.
They're part of an industry that actually has tricked them into considering it a virtue to not be successful.
Yeah, and it says a lot about their worldview. Here's another example of a Gen Z artist that just popped up onto my radar. A little kid named Two Hollis. He's 21 years old, and here's a video of him. He just is in the middle of a performance and starts bawling. Stops singing, and he's just doubled over in tears, shirtless. I can't.
The top comment says, "Give that boy a burger. He said he's hungry."
He don't got a single song where he gotta be doing all that.
Yeah.
Bro, put a shirt on. I can't take this seriously. Yeah, I agree with the comments. This is corny as fuck. Like, I don't know. This was my first impression of this guy.
Okay.
I learned that he existed through this video.
Yep.
And obviously he's leaning into that whole androgynous look with the long hair and the makeup.
Yeah, it's very, 80s hairband-esque, except for the blonde rather than the brown hair.
Yeah, but like with sad boy music instead of
Yeah.
powerful like beats, and no vocals. He's like on an auto-tuned mic. And here is another video of Two Hollis at a fan signing where this fan asks him to sign her birth control pills. You have that?
Yes, I do. Here we go. Yeah, I'm muting that.
This is, I mean, I cannot get over the symbolism here. She's asking an androgynous looking man to sign her birth control, which is the very reason she finds him attractive. I guess it's kind of perfect. you know?
Well, I mean, it's also like long-haired musicians have been popular for a long time, but there's the same argument to be made. But if he's crying on stage and they still find him attractive, then yes.
And that's not what anyone paid to see. They paid to see you perform your songs, not be crying like a little baby. And here's another sex symbol
but the
of
problem
Gen
is,
Z.
now those artists have been valorized so much that there are a part of the audience who are probably like, oh, I love it when he cries on stage.
Yeah. Well, here's another sex symbol of Gen Z.
He's being so
This
vulnerable.
artist named Somber. This girl
Oh, he's
recorded
somber.
him on stage, and he's
Love
making
this
eye
guy.
contact with her. This eye contact ended me. And they're just like, it's Niagara Falls in there, like they're soaking wet over this. This is what you're into.
I like his shirt.
His
I'm
69
afraid-
Yeah, his
jersey.
football jersey.
I'm afraid for the Zoomettes because this is what they find attractive now. I'm officially out of touch. I'm done.
Somber.
I'm Monk. I don't understand this. I don't want to understand it.
You would have never. You probably wouldn't have liked this even if it was coming out when you were in your late teens or early 20s.
I
What
doubt
was
it.
the equivalent for like? So like what? 2019, 2018. Who was the equivalent of like this? What
Maybe
is it?
Lil
Troye
Peep.
Sivan?
I was gonna say, was it SoundCloud rappers?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
the
I think
SoundCloud
so.
rappers.
When
like
was
Lil
Troye
Peep,
Sivan? That
Lil
was like
Xan.
2021.
Well, he was gay. I think he was like, it was
He
obviously
He was always,
gay.
yeah,
Yeah,
kind
but-
of.
But I'm trying to think of who was like that. I think it would have been the SoundCloud.
Right.
Little Peep.
Juice World.
Yeah.
But the
yeah.
least I can say for a Lil
I
Peep
can't-
is like he genuinely had the talent to back it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think all these people are like
Machine Gun Kelly.
they're mediocre. They're being given a platform because there's literally a shortage of talent.
right.
There are less Gen Z to pick from, and this is what we've got. Like, this is the next up and coming generation of pop stars, and they suck.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough.
No vocals. They don't have the look down. They have no mojo. They have no work ethic. They have no vision.
I mean, okay,
They
so
have no
all
motion.
the
No
all
riz,
the
no
other stuff,
motion.
call me old, but all the other stuff didn't bother me because I can be like, okay, you know what? Not my generation. I guess it just doesn't resonate with me. But when they're like, I'm just canceling tour, I'm like,
Right.
do your job.
Don't
Yeah.
be a little
Do
bitch.
Don't be a bitch. Do your job.
Yeah, but they don't think that they're obligated to give people what they paid for.
And to be fair, the record labels coddled them.
Yes.
And the fans like glaze every time too.
Yeah.
When they canceled.
Yeah, there were for all the comments that were clowning on Tu Hollis for crying on stage, there were other comments from his fans being like, "Oh my gosh, like what is he going through that we don't know about? Like his demons." You know, I don't care what you're going through. Sing the damn song that I paid for you to sing in front of me.
Laura Ingraham, just shut up and sing.
Shut up and sing.
Yeah, shut up and do a little dance.
Do a little dance for
Wear
us.
your football jersey. It says 69.
They're not even willing to do that.
Yep.
They can't. They don't. It's these woke musicians have gone too far.
All right. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day first?
Tate, you decide.
I would like to see cute first.
Cute first.
All
Okay.
right.
We will start with cute of the day first. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. All right.
How was the cringe last week?
I didn't do cringe the last day.
Whoa.
I did a cringe one day, and then Olivia just broke me with like this like singing in public cringe where this woman sings
That's
a
your
song.
favorite.
It's a woman who sings a song to elderly people in a nursing home,
Cringe.
and she's rapping. It's like a white woman rapping to old people in a nursing home, and it took like a week for me to recover.
Yikes.
I wanted it. I was gonna call it quits. We were in the middle of the show. I'm like, I might just pull the plug. So, all right. Thank you for that one, Olivia. I'm still living that one down. All right. Cue to the day. This is from Ellen Thompson, and that it doesn't list the name of the cat, but it's very, very cute.
Very cute.
I like it.
Love it.
I like
Tuxedo.
I like
It's nice.
I like the nose. It's very,
like the
it's
cat.
very, very cute. All right, we're gonna save the rest. I guess like X killed hashtags, but
Oh.
you'll have to
What?
tag. Yeah, like,
They're
there's-
over? Like, they're
you
done?
can use them, but they won't work anymore or something. I read that today. But what you should do is, tag me at Brett Dasovic on X. Put your pets in there and use the, I guess you don't have to use the hashtag, but put PCC pets in there, but try and use the hashtag. I don't know. But I'm going to try and find him and keep Cute of the Day going because I know you guys like to brag about your pets. All right. Cringe. Let's watch the cringe here. Here we go.
This is a good one. They're reenacting the summer I turned pretty in front of strangers.
You do not come near me right now.
Jerry, we don't have time for this. He's got to get married.
F you.
Belly's waiting for you. Don't keep her waiting on her wedding day.
Shut the hell up and don't even talk to me about her.
You-
He confessed his love to my fiance.
Please, Jerry, I'm begging you.
He sounds like the guy who went to the city council meeting and tried to say that Taylor Swift should be like in charge. He's like, my fellow belovers of the Constitution. Hold, please.
Thank you guys.
Hold on. Dancing is back.
No one was dancing?
Phil was posing. Olivia says he is that guy. He's the guy who did that video. So that's I remember his voice. That is amazing. For somebody who can't hear very well, I remember almost every character in a TV show from the sound of their voice. All right, here we go.
Why'd you do it? Would it make him feel noble giving her up for me?
I know about Cabo, you dick. Oh. Okay, sorry. Good. Sorry, miss.
So I have to go.
Well, he shouldn't talk to me about who loves Belly more. You're the one who treated her like garbage. Even now you can't admit how you feel about her to my face.
Fine. I'll admit it.
Okay.
I love her. Sometimes I feel like she's the only girl I could ever really be with, but she doesn't want me. She picked you.
Well, he picked him.
That's right,
So
she
that's
did.
her choice.
I like this lady more and more because she hasn't seen the show. That's what I like
Had
about
your
it.
chance. You don't effing get another one.
Read this. It's from our mom. She's dead.
What does he say?
To Conrad, good job on finding Belly. She loves you so much, but I'm Jeremiah.
To say. Sorry.
I'm warning you.
I love that she kind of got curious.
Yeah, she was kind of bought in.
She's like, wait, what did it say?
She's like, I need to know. Guy would just leave and tell you to fuck off. Like, girl's like, I need to know the tea.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go ahead and get started then.
So back in 2019, Emma Watson coined the term self-partnered. She popularized this term. This is how she described her state of self-sufficiency and contentment without a romantic partner. However, these days, I believe she is publicly dating a student at Oxford whose name is Kieran Brown. That's they started dating in the summer of 2024. Doesn't seem like they have any imminent plans of getting married, though. And on a recent podcast interview appearance that she did with Jay Shetty, she revealed that she thinks the pressure young people face today to get married is violence and cruelty to them.
It is one of those things that's a trope for normal people, is like you get into a relationship and people start asking, so when are you guys getting married? So when are you guys having kids?
I don't think young people face pressure to get married. I don't.
Yeah, this is like, this thing from Emma Watson is just an example of people with no adversaries trying to like invent adversaries out of thin air. It reminds me exactly of that Kneecap band who like rails on the Queen all day. And it's like the Queen hasn't had any power in like 200 years.
She's also dead.
She's also, yeah, it's like the same vibe where it's like they're lashing out at an adversary that hasn't really been relevant in decades, because actually, no, waiting till 35 to get married is like, that's like where the social incentive is.
Yeah,
actually, the social incentive is just to not get married and be a girl boss.
They're still gonna hear it from their mom and dad, and that does still happen.
I think that's
not
I
for
think
30,
it still happens.
I think 35-year-olds maybe 10, 20 years ago, but now these 35-year-olds are raised by parents that also grew up in that culture.
Right. I don't.
Yeah, but they still have
think that young
grandparents that are going to
people-
ask them at Christmas or
No.
at
But
that's
Thanksgiving.
not
I think
like-
they do.
that's
I'm not saying
Young
everybody, and
people-
it may be less common than it used to be.
Young
but
people, by and large, are not facing societal pressure to get married. Not from their family, not from the media, not from their friends. It's a thing of the past. And I had this friend that I was quite close with, who was a boomer, and she told me, even though she got married at 19, that I shouldn't even think about getting married until I'm 26. I think she just kind of threw out a random number. You have to like travel and see the world and experience things, then start thinking about that. Even though she had a very happy marriage and loved her husband, she was
it's
a widow by that point.
programmed
But
into them from television and movies from the moment you're. It's kind of like look. Me and Tate have had endless discussions about like they're like, they tell you to go to college, and conservatives now will tell you don't go to college. You don't need it. It's a debt trap. And there's an endless discussion about whether college is necessary for whatever reason. That's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is like, if you watch a television show, every show's like it's about the kid needing to go to college and like how it's like it's going to save their life if they go to college. But we know now that what they're not having a conversation is about let's go into debt.
Right.
Like it's just what they do. It's the type of storytelling they do. And that woman, whether she knows it or not, watched movies and television shows that had characters that were like labeled as rational and normal, saying like, oh, like, wait a little bit, then get married. So it's been presented as a reasonable argument, as the only reasonable argument for so long that they can't conceive of a world where it's not the only reasonable choice for someone. In our sphere here, we talk to people all the time who, got married young, had kids, and are very, very happy. But that person is never presented as a reasonable alternative to what the mainstream press gives you as an option these days.
well, she even referenced Eat, Pray, Love when she was talking to me
There
about
you
this
go.
stuff. And like, that's not a movie about delaying marriage and kids. It's actually a movie about a woman who gets a divorce and then lives her dream life and falls in love with some other guy in another continent. But she wouldn't have ever thought in a million years of divorcing her husband. She was a widow and she was in love with her husband. So that's the boomers. And then every generation past the boomers feels the same way. And that's why Gen Z never faced any pressure by and large, to get married or have kids. So I have no idea who this imaginary foe is that Emma Watson is pushing back against.
I mean, she could be talking about her own parents.
She's fashioned this idea in her mind. But if she's talking about her own parents, then she should stop talking about society. That's what I'm saying. She's talking about like the societal pressure and young people. She's not talking about herself. She's not talking about her parents. She's talking about society, and that's why it appears she's completely detached from reality, because there isn't a societal pressure that exists today.
I do agree with you that it is far less common than it used to be, but I do believe anecdotally for plenty of people, there's still individuals out there who hear it. Maybe not in the numbers that they heard about it in the 90s, but
Yeah.
you know, for somebody who has been raised with propaganda that's told them not just sometimes to wait, but to not do it at all, because you're going to ruin the environment and it's a race to the finish line. Are you going to destroy the planet first with your kids, or is OpenAI going to destroy it first with their data centers, and they're filled with nothing but dramatic pain at a world that they think is going to disappear at any moment? Then they hear their parents, again, this is anecdotal evidence for each person, saying like, so when are you going to get married? Like, I'm not going to get married, Mom. I'm going to save the planet by not having kids. I do still think that people hear it, just maybe not as frequently as they did back in the 90s.
Well, that's the point. It's anecdotal. And by and large, still, as I'm saying, Gen Z doesn't face pressure to get married and have kids. And even if it is just their parents or just their grandparents, literally every other authority in their life, being their friends via peer pressure or media, the celebrities they idolize, or propaganda that they're fed in schools, tells them the opposite. So Emma Watson is pushing back against this imaginary pressure system that is committing a violence against young people by pressuring them to get married, and it doesn't exist.
And I disagree entirely with her point about how she says to make it feel like they haven't succeeded in life if they don't have kids. That's BS. There is no aspect of society right now, at least, outside of maybe your own parents, that is telling you that the only way to be successful for a woman is to have kids, because that's laughable. They haven't run that with that idea in decades.
Well, here's what she said in full on the podcast. I'm just so happy not to be divorced yet. Like, that sounds like a really negative answer, but I think that we're being pressured and forced into this thing that I believe is a kind of miracle, meaning marriage. She says societal pressure is the least romantic thing I can possibly think of. Had she tried to get married when she was younger, she added, it would have been carnage. I just didn't know myself well enough yet. I didn't have a clear idea of what my purpose, my vision, like how I was going to be of service. I didn't know where I really felt like I needed to be. And she added that it's unfair to tie a person's self-worth to their marital status. Quote, I think it's such a violence and it's such a cruelty on people, especially young people, I think, and especially women, to make them feel like they have no worth or like they haven't succeeded yet in life because they haven't forced to its culmination something that I just don't think can or should ever be forced. And she said, pressuring people to marry too soon ignores how much work is required to build a lasting relationship. I've really sat with myself in a lot of discomfort and asked myself a lot of very difficult questions to be at that point. It hasn't happened to me yet. So, first off, I am really fatigued with people calling things violence that aren't violence. Mm-hmm. Like, literally everything is violence except for actual real world violence. Mm-hmm. Only words can be violence at this point.
Yeah. Or microaggressions.
But I think it's clear that she still has a positive view of marriage. She just thinks, like most people in her generation, that you have to work on yourself and actualize yourself and do interior work and therapy and, I guess, know yourself fully before you get married, which is an unattainable goal by design.
That's a hiccup for a lot of people. It's like, for instance, my life was a mess in my 20s, and I would have been ultimately a horrible candidate for marriage at that time, because I wouldn't have had enough understanding of who I was as a person to be able to, like, if you haven't figured out your own shit and you're not in control of your own life, at least to the best of abilities that a person can be, you're not going to be the type of partner that can help live in service not just to your own needs, but the needs of your partner, the person you love. But the idea that I didn't go through thinking about, I need to fix this so I can do it, therefore I need to go to therapy and spend thousands of dollars on self-help books or travel the world so that I can understand other cultures. It's a shifting goalpost that will never be completely filled.
I will note she didn't mention anything about how you have to travel or you have to buy things or you have to reach a certain level in your career before getting married. She didn't tote any of those lines. Probably because she, by her early 20s, was more successful than most people on the planet, and she's kind of reached her ceiling of success and has been on an indefinite hiatus from her acting career for 5 to 6 years at this point.
She could have
She's
like
not really ambitious in terms of her career, and she refuses to work regularly.
It's interesting. She could theoretically, she's the prime candidate to find like just the right role on like a really, really like unique idea for a streaming show where her name recognition and a really good script could lead to an entire career revival, almost more than Daniel Radcliffe, because she's not because he acts regularly and she doesn't. So she absolutely could find herself kind of like Winona Ryder with Stranger Things.
Well, she claims that she had a hard time working after Harry Potter because she expected all of the casts that she joined to be BFFs.
Hug boxes.
And when that didn't happen, she was really rattled by it, and she couldn't handle it emotionally. But to compare her to her Harry Potter co-stars, all three of them are still unmarried, and they're about the same age, like 35. And I learned today that Daniel Radcliffe has been in a long-term relationship with his forever girlfriend since 2013.
Could tell
Rupert Grint,
yeah.
similarly, has been in a relationship with his forever girlfriend and also his baby mama since 2011. And they're still not married.
I could just see Mary getting ready to throw darts at them on a dartboard.
It's for all of the unique experiences that these three have gone through that most millennials could never relate to, they're still so characteristically millennial in the way that their lives have panned out.
Yeah.
But here were a couple of takes that I wanted to share about her comment. Lindy Man said, all traditional patterns have collapsed. You're free to do anything and organize your life as you want. There's no pressure from any group or society or institution. The modernity project is complete. You are liberated. Many people cannot handle this truth, so they make up fake statements about things pressuring them. It doesn't exist. And another take
again, like the point here is that she made a larger societal observation that people disagree with. If she had said that, you know, I felt the pressure from my own family, or I have friends that get that pressure from their family. Like I said, I know people personally who have gotten this type of pressure from their family. So I'm not going to say that it doesn't exist. Obviously, it exists on an anecdotal level for individuals. But when we're talking about larger societal ideas of like what's acceptable, it's not there in the same way.
Yeah. There's this other take that said, when modern women complain about social or family or male pressure over dating, marriage, pregnancy, weight, beauty standards, etc., what they're really talking about is their own personal anxieties or inner voice or conscience intervening in their lifestyle of hedonism in such a way that it must be pawned off on external sources, or else the cognitive dissonance would be too much.
It's like
I think it says more about Emma Watson's mindset that she would say that than anything about the people she personally knows or society at a larger scale. I think she feels an internal pressure, and that's a normal thing to feel.
It's the same thing that happens when they talk about women being shamed for sex, and I'm like, women haven't been shamed for sex in America in 20, 30 years.
And that's not to say no one like gets called a slut by their acquaintances in 2025. Like,
but the media is not going to do that to you.
But again, that's anecdotal.
Yes.
So it's useless to talk about it, you know, in a generalization. So yeah, I think that Emma Watson is bizarrely going on a press run to talk about her emotions right now instead of promoting a project.
I feel like I don't know if this is unique to women, but maybe like for me, it's like this line I walk where I'm like, I can't be that unique. So therefore I assume that anything I'm experiencing is at least some way, you know, attributable to the rest of society, right? Like, it's not like you're the most unique person in the world. Why wouldn't somebody else? Like, it's actually a good thing to be like, look, it's like when I talk about I'm never going to die in a plane crash. Look, I'm not that interesting. I'm not going to die in a way that ends up on Wikipedia. But the idea is like, okay, so society, like what I'm experiencing can't be that different from what's going on in society. But if I have even a slightest doubt in my mind, if I'm saying something that is beyond just my own experience, I'm always like, I think this might happen elsewhere in society. Otherwise, it's just anecdotal evidence for myself and not proof of anything. But she's not. She's giving an interview. She's speaking stream of consciousness. She's not going to be that exacting in her language.
I think she needs to get a job.
Stay
She
busy.
can stop thinking about herself.
That would help.
Yeah, that would be a relief.
All right, let's do some super chats. We got some in there, and guys, we're like halfway to a second crisis party. We got like 2 every day the last week. I told everybody, I said, Mary's not coming back unless we get two crisis parties a day, and they don't want to be stuck with me.
Yeah. Brian Bledsoe said, welcome back, Mary. So how was the gongo? Are the timeshares ready yet? I'm ready for family vacation.
Is that what you were building, timeshares?
I made I had a layover in the
gongo.
gongo and spoke with some dignitaries, and we'll get back to you soon with the details.
Working on setting up our NGO for that right now.
We have concepts of a plan.
I'm going to call George Soros.
Shane H. Wilder said, if anyone does not love Luce, let him be to thee as the heathen and publican. Yeah, I had to stunt on the Luce haters today. There was a lot of Luce merch in Rome, and I got the keychain, I had the tote bag, I posed with the Luce cardboard cutout.
Was that like,
was awesome.
Was that cardboard cutout like stuck to the ground, like you couldn't move it?
You could move it, but nobody took it. I wanted to bring it home, but there's not enough room in my suitcase. So.
What is Luce?
She's the Catholic Church's mascot for the Jubilee year, which is created by the artist at Tokidoki. Like she has the blue hair and
I've seen this.
Seashells in her eyes.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Okay.
There's a 20 there from Pop Culture Junkie.
I suspect there may be a great screenplay somewhere about 3 kids who grow up together making a highly successful movie franchise. There are so many ways you could create an interesting story arc as they go into their 30s.
Yeah, I suppose in it, Rupert Grint ends up the happiest and most fulfilled because he was the member of the trio that got the least attention.
And he did end up having kids.
Yeah.
The other 2 didn't.
If he was married, then at the very least we could be like, he got his ice cream truck out of the whole deal. He bought his ice cream truck. He only works when he wants to because he doesn't need to.
I mean, he's a ginger male. Yeah. He wouldn't have been able to reproduce without Harry Potter. So that's awesome.
Let's do 2 more.
Corey Anderson said, y'all are really pushing Tater a lot. Stop trying to make Tater happen. LOL. Hashtag fetch. Welcome back, Mary. PCC was not the same without you. JK Tater Salad.
Do you have a preference to a specific nickname?
No, I mean, well, Tater was like, this thing happens where someone says that to me, and it's like they've come up with this really off the wall nickname. It's like I've been referred to that.
I thought the
since
fans
I was a child.
Were the Taters.
Is that a thing? Are the fans Taters?
Yeah.
I'd be okay with pawning that name off to the fans. That'd be nice.
Corey Anderson, I don't really want to read that first part because of YouTube, but he asked, what happened to Big Dave? I don't think anything happened to Big Dave.
Daniel Radcliffe has one son, born in 2023. So he does have a kid.
With
Aaron
Dark?
Correct.
Okay.
So they do have a child.
So they're not
He
married.
is with child.
What the hell?
None of them are getting married.
It's so weird.
I bet you a dark wizard put a curse on all of them.
Because you can't.
They wouldn't get married.
What's confounding about it is you can't even argue that Daniel Radcliffe or Rupert Grint are worried about getting taken for their money, because you can still get taken for your money by having a kid with a woman. So it's not that they're not delaying marriage for that reason. They're just delaying marriage just because.
Did you see the interview with Steph Curry's wife?
No. What was that?
She's like...
I don't know if I know her name.
I don't remember her first name. And she's basically like, yeah, I didn't want to be a wife and have kids. I really wanted to, run a business. And she's the wife of, arguably one of the 2 most recognizable stars in the NBA. Uh-huh. And it's just like, bruh.
So
Like the way you should have had to have been waterboarded out, like to get that out of you in an interview, and she's just like emasculating her husband. And
they are married and they have kids.
they are married. They have kids. Yeah.
Well, does she own a business?
I don't
like
know.
If she wanted to own a business, then like do it, girl. Like no one's stopping you.
Exactly.
You're Steph Curry's wife.
Yeah, like
You can do whatever the hell you want. Make a candle business. Whatever.
that would be amazing.
Nothing's stopping you. Burned Oils said, glad Mary is back. In her absence, I prayed a lot for Charlie Kirk. It made me feel like a good person. I hope Mary did just as much. Well, don't pray to feel like a good person. You should pray because it's the right thing to do.
All right,
Strategy, I suppose.
let's hold off on the rest. Let's move on.
So, country star Zach Bryan is a well-known idiot, and he's let everyone know that he's an idiot multiple times. You'll recall last year we covered his absolutely messy cluster F of a breakup with Barstool sports commentator Brianna Chicken Fry, and his penchant for getting super drunk and yelling at people, throwing things. He has an arrest record. He looks about as stupid as he actually is and sounds. Not for nothing, he is talented, but
Cussed out the cops when he cussed out the cops when he got arrested and complained. It's actually this is one of my favorite double standards. From I guess this would happen to anybody who's like deep in the culture war and they just need any victory they can. They hate Morgan Wallen and call him a menace to society because he threw that chair off the roof. You know, somebody could have gotten killed when that happened. But then, first of all, did you ever see that video? Like when he's getting arrested, his song supposedly comes on the radio and he tells him to turn it up. I have no idea if that's real.
Morgan
Could have been
Wallen or
Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen.
Oh.
But then Zach Bryan gets arrested and yells at the cop, and they're like, "Look at him! He's not backing the blue. I love this guy."
Yeah, they're all quite messy, regardless of their political affiliations. But also last year, Zach Bryan proved that he has no nuts because he posted drunkenly that he likes Kanye West's music more than Taylor Swift's music and gave her the middle finger. And then as soon as, predictably, the Swiftie fan base came after him and swarmed after him, he got scared and deactivated his Twitter account and then posted a long apology to Taylor Swift for being so disrespectful. So, yeah, he is pusillanimous, to say the least. But recently, he dropped this song called Bad News, which is essentially an ICE diss track. He released a country diss track against ICE officers and ICE raids. So here was the lyrics from his song. Didn't wake up dead or in jail. Some out-of-town boy's been giving us hell. I got some bad news. I woke up missing you. My friends are all degenerates, but they're all I've got. The generational story of dropping the plot. I heard the cops came. Cocky MFers, ain't they? And ICE is gonna come bust down your door. Try and build a house no one builds no more, but I got a telephone. Kids are all scared and all alone. The bar stopped bumping, the rock stopped rolling, the middle finger's rising and it won't stop showing. Got some bad news, the fading of the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
So, he feels like the identity of this nation is fading because people voted for foreigners who came here illegally to get removed.
Yeah. If you guys want to watch like a startling culture shift, go watch any TV show from the early 2000s and see characters that play ICE agents that are just not like demonized or held in you know who I feel bad for? I think I mentioned this here on IRL. I'm like, I feel bad for the people who just work in customs. Like the guy who's just checking your bags to make sure you're not bringing in like an illegal form of cheese. And the guy's like, look, I'm not deporting anybody. I'm like just checking to make sure that you're not shipping contraband to the country. And they've been tarred with this same brush that people have done for ICE agents that are actually enforcing new immigration policy. Not even new immigration policy, just actually enforcing the immigration policy that was always on the books but wasn't being upheld.
Right. I have seen a lot of responses to these lyrics saying Zach Bryan is going to FAFO because the fan base of country music, generally speaking, is right-leaning, or at least more right-leaning than other genres of music. That is true, but like you said earlier off air, country music has been, for lack of a better word, colonized.
It's been homogenized.
It's been mainstreamed to the point where
it's globalized.
you might imagine a country fan as being this like shirtless, gun-toting, red-blooded.
Yeah, they're listening to Willie Nelson.
Suntanned, you know, like overall wearing country bumpkin. But in reality, that's just like normies are listening to country music.
Like the reason this has happened, why country's become so ubiquitous, is just because like all the other white subcultures have like fallen apart, and country music and like broadly like country culture is like the last white subculture that's still like lasting. So a lot of white people all across the country, whether in the Midwest or like Long Island or whatever, that are middle class have just latched onto it because they see it as like the last subculture that is still like lasting, that can prevail for an extended period of time. Like everything else is falling apart, like the punk rock, like the Dago, like these sorts of things are all kind of gone. So the last thing really is the Zach Bryans, the Morgan Wallens.
Yeah. And it will not even, I mean, even them, they are very much still, it's pop country in most respects.
There's always been pop country.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was joking earlier. I was like, well, Garth Brooks would never, but he probably would now, and Brooks and Dunn would never. But you know, in a lot of ways, country music is very, very different than what it was, and this has happened to all genres of music. That's why you hear your average pop star collaborate with Future,
That's
because
why
nothing has its own genre anymore, and Beyonce is country suddenly.
Yeah, pop country just means the country music is taking influence from the most popular style of music. That's exactly what Garth Brooks was doing. He was taking from like rock, because rock was the most prevalent genre when he was at his peak.
And a lot of the country music that's popular now, they just the people online who hate on it will be like, it's just pop music with twang.
Right.
It's just pop music with probably like an electric banjo, if such a thing exists. Every other chord.
And a lot of the time, the twang is fake.
Yeah.
Too. The powers that be in the country music world are woke, by the way. Like, look at their award shows. They have drag performances, and Casey Musgraves has all these drag queens in her music videos.
I saw this from John Rich. He said, Zach Bryan has every right to record a song bashing law enforcement, and fans have every right to keep supporting his career or not. Capitalism isn't cancellation. Who knows? Maybe there's a large anti-law enforcement wing of the country music fan base. We will soon find out.
John Rich responded and said, Nashville is full of guys like this.
Yeah. Like, so one of the comments they said, like, they're like, we won the country vote. Like liberals being like, we won the country vote. It's like, no, these are the people who buy, the person's like, these are the people who buy like cowboy boots on Temu and Shein and wear it one time for the concert or Halloween, get a photo taken, and then never wear it again. That's not your average everyday country fan. But the country audience in general now, like you said, it doesn't survive just on people who are diehard country fans. It kind of exists in the same realm of like, you know, there's a portion of that audience that are going to turn on, you know, a Morgan Wallen song, and then they're going to put on a Future song right after that because they don't have a genre specific taste. It's just all pop to them.
I think country's actually become like ubiquitous among like the middle class. Like it's at this point it's preeminent.
It's not regional.
It's this like it's I think the middle class white population is like actually kind of homogenizing like culturally, no matter if you're in Oregon or Florida.
As it gets smaller and smaller.
As it gets smaller, I think it's homogenized around that. Like I think like non-denom evangelicalism is becoming the default religion now of like the white middle class. Like Charlie Kirk's sort of like his memorial. It's actually pretty ubiquitous among the white middle class. I think they're homogenizing. I think part of it is pressure because the population's shrinking, and then also just because of like the internet, they just see it as like, oh, this is something that's sturdy and safe that I can latch on to, that'll preserve itself for an extended period of time. And that's why you're seeing sort of this population kind of just homogenize.
Like the lyrics of old just wouldn't have resonated with young people because it was like they were a certain type of like love ballad or song about heartbreak. It's a joke, right? Like there's whole channels, like AI channels. It's like AI song, like AI makes a country song, and they're always the same song over and over again. But they were actually lyrically very clever a lot of the time. My mom loved country music, at least what it would have been like pop country back in the 90s, like Vince Gill or Black Hawk or the Judds in the 80s and the 90s. And there was Diamond Rio. My brother and my mom loved Diamond Rio. Like, those were country artists that it wouldn't fly as the same type of country. It would actually be seen as like almost sentimental by today's standards. But, you know, it was in its own genre at the time. And now what Zach Bryan is just kind of supposed to be like a Morgan Wallen-esque bad boy of country music, I guess. But these songs are cringe when they do it on the right too, when they make politically motivated music.
Yeah, if he made a song that was like praising ICE raids, I'd also be like, okay.
I mean, I felt the same way when you know, Try That in a Small Town came out. Not even that the song was bad, but that it became
loved that song.
that it became like a rallying cry. And then I had to see people say he made a like Jason Aldean made a pro-lynching song. And I'm like, somebody shoot me to another planet, please.
Well, that song, I enjoyed that song a lot, for what it's worth. I thought that was a good song, and it was catchy, and the outrage around it just was the reason why I ended up listening to it in the first place. But what is this, ultimately? It's not a protest song. It's just Zach Bryan's pitiful attempt at trying to signal virtue because he is a well-known douchebag. He cheated on his wife. He has an arrest record. He's messy. He's an alcoholic from all appearances. He has no actual moral compass. This is a song that he put out because it's trendy right now to, you know, push back against the Trump administration. It's not reflective of anything that he actually believes on a foundational level. And it's
in the people that he's preaching to here. It's like, did you guys see there was a panel from a Batman comic that was going viral on X yesterday, where I'm assuming it's from a newer panel from Batman, where Batman says to, like, I guess a bunch of corrupt cops, he goes, police brutality puts us on opposite sides, officers. Meanwhile, Batman just like brutally assaults every criminal. The point is that Batman would, you know, like people would be like, okay, Batman would hopefully, given that Gotham has always been corrupt, sans Jim Gordon and his job to clean up the police force, he would hold the cops to a higher standard. But the tweet that went viral said, I love this anti-police stance from Batman, which is not what it is. I mean, I haven't read the whole comic they're talking about here, but the point is Batman was always anti-corruption. So the point is, they find something in pop culture that kind of, and conservatives do this too, it fits vaguely into their worldview. And they're like, I always like the cut of his jib. So now you can smile because the libs have to pretend to like Zach Bryan and Batman, when just the other year they were like, Batman's a fascist, and if you want to work at DC, you have to write 5 reasons why Batman's a fascist. You can just be.
And last year they also were saying that Zach Bryan was some sort of like, he was like a domestic abuser.
Because of, yeah, so you can take certain joy in your heart that those people will never be happy because they have to filter everything through the lens of, you know, whether this person fits into their worldview.
He offered some crazy amount of money for Brianna Chicken Fry to sign an NDA about their relationship. Like, it was a lot. It was like many, many millions of dollars. And she turned it down just to go on a podcast and say that he's a drunk asshole.
And then it disappeared after that, and nobody talked about it again.
I was like, girl, I would have taken the money. He's not even she didn't even accuse him of like violence or anything. Like, he just sounded like a jerk.
Yeah, like I feel like somebody like psyched her up into thinking that she had like this crazy information. Here's that Batman panel, just in case anybody was wondering. Police brutality and murder puts us on opposite sides, officers. And the person says, I am loving this anti-police narrative. It's like Batman was never anti-police. He was anti-corrupt police, which is just called being normal.
You know what? Zach Bryan should try it in a small town. We were joking earlier.
Try your mom in a small town.
Everyone in a small town tried your mom.
I went to a small town and everybody knew your mom.
Okay, let's read some super chats. Moon at Noon said, welcome home, Mary. Your absence was tangible. Well, thank you. Shane H. Wilder said, Mary gets to join the likes of Seamus and Josie in torturing me in a cast brew short as soon as the coffee gets in. I'm kind of scared. I mean, I'm excited, actually. I didn't know it was coming out, but now that it's out, I'm happy. Corey Anderson said Mary is savagely a capital B bad biatch.
Don't hear biatch much anymore.
I don't endorse this message, but yeah, I think I just said to you like on Friday before I left, actually, like we need to bring back biatch.
Did you?
Like calling someone a biatch. Whatever happened to that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was one of the first curse
extra
words I was allowed to say in the house.
The extra vowel just gave it a little extra. Just kind of.
Yeah.
Mary is so young, she didn't know that Snoop Dogg used to put izzle in the middle of every word.
Yeah, like
For shizzle.
When you told me that, I was like, okay, like I knew that was a thing. I just didn't know that was his thing.
That was his thing.
He made it up.
For shizzle.
Nice. Corey Anderson said F's in the chat for Mary's boyfriend. She won't be writing poems about your endowment. LOL, JK Mary. We know you have tact and aren't a scarlet woman. Okay. Kay said this is going to attribute to my financial toxicity. Welcome back, Mary. And it's my birthday, apparently.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kay. Thank you. Corey Anderson said Yay should be the Super Bowl halftime show.
I mean,
If only.
I mean, what
The
if they
entertainment
did,
value.
Him and a Jewish artist, and they can bring everybody together.
Yeah. Him and who would the Jewish artist
I
be?
don't even know. Like,
Lil
I can't
Dicky?
think of anyone.
Drake.
Lil Dicky is Jewish.
Like-
Drake is Jewish.
BOP kosher.
There you go. Like, do
Ben
that.
Shapiro is a rapper.
There you go. You can.
What was his rap name?
I got the facts.
Wait,
I
what?
got the sacks.
Didn't Ben Shapiro like have a rap name?
I think Tom McDonald gave him a rap name.
Was it something Dreidel?
Was it?
Wasn't it
had to
Dr.
be.
Dreidel?
Dr. Dreidel?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if that's not perfect, I don't know what
Yeah.
is.
Shane H.
one
Wilder
more.
said she doesn't need Tu Hollis to sign her birth control. Just his very existence causes a barren womb.
There you go.
Yeah, it was quite poetic to watch that happen.
All right, let's move on.
So last week it was announced that Super Bowl halftime show performer would be Bad Bunny, and he decided to make this grand statement about what it means for not American culture, but his culture, his very separate foreign culture that he wants to impose on the Americans who will watch the programming. Here was his comment that he gave to Rolling Stone, which you probably already heard last week. What I'm feeling goes beyond myself. It's for those who came before me and ran countless yards so I could come in and score a touchdown. This is for my people, my culture, and our history. So he's differentiating himself quite starkly from American culture. He likes the fact that this is his chance to disrespect American culture, of which football, of course, is a mainstay. And he also appeared on SNL over the weekend and delivered this monologue, which was half in Spanish. So I wanted to show that clip where he breaks into Spanish in the middle of his monologue, and there are all these English speakers in the audience just like, he could be saying anything right now, but I'm going to clap.
I'm very excited to be doing the Super Bowl, and I know that people all around
Sunglasses
the world
inside,
who
of
love my
course.
music are also happy, especialmente
He does look like he would make a great movie villain in the 80s.
Thank you.
Hold, please. Hold. All right.
Let's show
Where
the
were we?
remainder of that
Here we go.
clip there.
Todo
I'm just
Latino.
picturing the awfuls in the audience listening to him speak in Spanish, and they're like, he could be calling for genocide right now, and I still have to clap.
todos los latinos y las latinas en el mundo entero y aquí en los Estados Unidos, todas las personas que han trabajado para abrir puertas, más que un logro mío, más que un logro mío, es un logro de todos, demostrando que nuestra huella y nuestra aportación en este país nadie nunca la podrá sacar ni borrar. And if you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn. We have a great show for you tonight.
Yeah. So he's telling all of the English-speaking American audience members that they have until the Super Bowl to become fluent in Spanish so they can understand him. Here's what he said in the Spanish part of his monologue. I'm very excited to be doing the Super Bowl, and I know that people all around the world who love my music are also happy, especially all the Latinos and Latinas across the world and here in the United States, all those who have worked to open doors. It's more than an achievement for myself. It's an achievement for all of us. It shows our footprint and our contribution to this country that no one will ever be able to take away or erase. So it's not the more individualist mentality that white Americans have. Like, white Americans believe in meritocracy and individualism. A lot of these ethnic subgroups, they do not. And he doesn't view himself as an individual. He views himself as a representative of Puerto Ricans. He's Puerto Rican. And one of the disingenuous responses to this monologue was saying, you know, if Americans don't want Spanish speakers in their country, they shouldn't have colonized Puerto Rico. As if that has anything to do with it. The reason why large numbers of people residing in this country don't speak English and sometimes exclusively speak Spanish is mass migration. You know, like, that's by the numbers, that's why this has happened. And we have a right to expect them to learn English. And of course, you know, if you said you have 4 months to learn to speak English or else you're getting deported, that makes you a monster.
I'm gonna point this out, and I point this out every time we have a topic like this. One of the reasons it's like this is there is 35 to 40 years of television and movie propaganda where the rudest, most like off-putting character tells somebody who's being polite, speaking another language, to speak English, dude. Do you remember the first Transformers movie when they're talking to the dude who's in the military unit and the guy with the glasses is like, English, dude, and then that character dies later because he's a dick. He's acting like a dick.
Racist.
He's being a dick. He is being racist. So what they did is they showed you the worst possible example over and over and over again and pretended as if that was the baseline for the general request to say, I'm sorry, I don't speak that language, but since we're here in my home country, can we please speak this language? It's not trying to be rude. You're just saying a fact. If you go to another country now, most, especially if you're a tourist, they begrudgingly know at least a little bit of English because a lot of the tourism is based around American tourists, but they definitely look down on you for both trying to speak their language poorly, but also not speaking their language at all. And you're in a lose-lose situation. So you've been like the worst of the awfuls have been watching movies and television for 30 or 40 years that have said that if you expect this in your own country, you're a bad person because they've never been introduced to somebody doing it in a reasonable, polite way.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Hollywood pushing stories that have no connection to anyone's real world experience. Most English speakers in this country at least have one experience where, they tried to converse with someone in another language and they receive vitriol for even trying or having an accent. And it's never the other way around. Like, for the most part, white English-speaking Americans are extremely kind and accommodating to people who are trying to speak our language, and we are very forgiving of the mistakes that they make. Yep. That's the douchebag racist in the movie doesn't exist in real life.
I worked like retail for many years and heard a lot of languages that I didn't understand and was like, okay, let's try and figure out a way to understand what you're asking so we can take care of what you want. And it never bothered me to do that. It didn't happen super frequently. That was fine, but that's not what the rest of the world hears. And they would rather believe that what America is the caricature of the person who's just rude for the sake of being rude.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, I was just in Rome and I didn't even attempt to speak Italian with anyone there because all of them know English and they have to if they work in a city like that with so much tourism revenue. And also because if I did try to speak Italian with any of them, that would have just pissed them off more. So why would I even try? And a lot of people think that that's a double standard. I don't. I am an American chauvinist, and I do think that the globe should speak English.
Real.
But especially this country should speak exclusively English.
I know, and I kept saying you should be deported, and they're like, he's from Puerto Rico. So?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like,
figure it out.
clearly
That's what I'm paying you for.
hate this country, you should get out.
Yeah.
Like,
we can deport him somewhere else. He speaks Spanish, and he really wants. There's a lot of countries that speak Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, why Puerto Rico?
And my point earlier, I was trying to explain this thread, this really insightful post that I read, where this guy's like the worst of the worst in the left will hear a statement, they know perfectly well what you mean, and they'll be like, huh, what? So if you go to China and you ask somebody in China, what is the official language of the United States of America? And didn't Trump like just actually make English the official language like
some
this year?
executive order,
But the
maybe.
point is, that didn't need to happen. Okay, that needed to happen because of government documents. But if you ask somebody in China what we speak in America, they would say English. But if you ask a liberal, they'll be like, well, actually, because of the Spanish-American War. And they'll give you a bunch of examples where that's not what happens. They're being intentionally dense. And then the first comment in this post, this really well-worded post that explains perfectly the mindset, says, well, Bad Bunny's from Puerto Rico, which is technically an American, technically in America. Therefore, and the guy's like, you just literally did the thing that I perfectly explained in this thread. You know what I'm talking about. I know that you know what I'm talking about. You're being dense because your reality requires you to form a facade of fake half-truths around an idea to be in line with what you believe of the world. But it's not the world at large.
also, your language only survives if you enforce that legally. No one thinks it's racist that Canada tries to keep French a living language in their country.
I was just there. I was like, why are you guys using kilometers? What you should do is you should go to...
There's purely Gaelic-speaking territories in Ireland as well, and they have to enforce that legally. There's no signage in English there, and they have to enforce that if they want their language to not go extinct. So we also have just as much of a right to keep English in use and alive and the dominant language in this country.
America is the only country that's incentivized to welcome their own demise as a virtue.
So Donald Trump just commented on Bad Bunny's selection as the Super Bowl headliner, saying, "I've never heard of him. I don't know who he is. I don't know why they're doing it. It's crazy." And then they blame it on some promoter they hired to pick up entertainment. Is he talking about Jay-Z? I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
That's such
awesome.
a flex if he's like, some music promoter.
Yeah, just some guy.
I love that.
It's like talking about Oppenheimer and being like, just some scientist guy.
And then 50 Cent also weighed in on Bad Bunny's comments, saying, "I respect what he's doing, but telling Americans to learn Spanish for the Super Bowl, bro, this ain't Duolingo halftime. Last I checked, music's supposed to bring people together, not make us download Rosetta Stone." I don't know if that's really the own that he thought it was, but Bad Bunny is an ornery, unpleasant young man. This was a mistake.
Well, okay,
This was a mistake for the cultural moment that we're at right now.
It's not like America was less political in 2020 when they had Shakira and J-Lo, and he performed on that show with them. Okay, the point is they're widely known in America as well, and that's fine. That's for English-speaking songs,
Yes.
whatever. Like, all of this is just, it was very much a decision that they made because of the current state of things. And his statement was uniquely antagonistic towards people who want to, live in a world where the halftime show is done that way. I'm not going to watch it anyways. I'm not going to watch the halftime show. I'm not going to boycott anything. It doesn't really matter to me. But his initial statement immediately turned it into something political.
Well, not to downplay Bad Bunny's success, like obviously he's a huge artist, but he's actually not that well known in this country to normies.
From everything that I've been told, he is. I think it might be the inverse, that normies know who he is, and then the politically inclined don't.
No, he's not as well known in this country as you know, a J-Lo or a
Correct.
Shakira or any of these other artists like that have been chosen for the past
Another example
several
of this
years.
is like every time that this comes up now, they're like, well, what about when Gloria Estefan did the Super Bowl halftime show, pretending to not understand that the context of this situation is different than Gloria Estefan doing the Super Bowl halftime show or any of the other artists that did the halftime show, and not understanding that the comments that Bad Bunny made recently about not doing shows in America because of ICE raids turned it into a uniquely political situation. They're being intentionally dense.
I think it was Rihanna in 2023.
Another person like, well, Rihanna's wasn't born in America.
Not the
Again,
point.
not the same thing.
Not the point also. Like she's incredibly famous, and also her performance was relatively, you know, tame and inoffensive. Even though there were some conservatives who tried to say it was satanic because she was wearing red. You know, that was a reach and everyone knew it.
FN in the chat says it turned political because conservative media was whining about him. Okay, so if he hadn't if he was just performing as normal and he was doing tours in America and he wasn't talking about political issues like the issues with ICE raids and the fact that immigration is a huge topic of concern for conservatives right now, they're acting as if, oh, we just hired this guy and it just so happens that it's this way. That's not fair, and it's not being intellectually honest.
Well, here's a little off the wall theory about why Bad Bunny was selected to play the Super Bowl show. A Puerto Rican citizen claims that Bad Bunny is a plant controlled by a communist cabal to manipulate the masses.
I hope this is true.
Bad Bunny is a plant. You know who's the owner of the Bad Bunny company?
Bunny.
Rafael Jimenez Dan, vice president of the defense of Chavez in Venezuela.
You think he's a plant, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it is. Everybody is bland. You know, everybody is like this. Don't see
Sheeple.
the truth. They have a plan to destroy the democracy. They want everybody be comunista. Show me what happened with comunista in Venezuela or in Cuba or in Nicaragua. Show me what good do. Nothing. Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
I'm just going to believe him. I'm just going to take him at his word.
I just want people to have health care, honey.
I'm just going to take him at his word.
I just can't wait to start saying Bad Bunny. That bunny's so bad. He's so bad. That bunny.
He's a plant.
Why is the bunny he's so bad?
All right.
All right, let's
Deport.
finish up these super chats. Corey Anderson said, Mary, can I intern as your assistant? No. I don't need an assistant. What do I need to be assisted with? Corey Anderson said, are Olivia's initials OCD now?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wait, wait, Claire is a middle name.
Yeah. She doesn't discuss her.
Right.
Yeah. Just so, yes. But yes, her initials are now OCD.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And yours
Are bad.
Yeah.
Bad OCD.
Got like kind of cool. FN said, I think people in relationships feel pressure to get married. People around you do ask when it's going to happen. He also added, Gen Z does face pressure because the media and political commentators have been sounding the alarm on the low birth rate and low marriage rates. It's a talking point in conservative media.
That's assuming that they're in conservative circles
Yeah.
and they pay attention to
They
conservative
don't-
media.
they
The
don't
average
pay
everyday
attention to-
woman isn't like, Megyn Kelly told me that the birth rate is collapsing and Elon Musk confirms, therefore I better have 12 kids.
We have a 20 from Robert Delara. I'm not sure I said that right. They should have Vanilla Ice come out during the Super Bowl halftime show and sing Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah. Somebody also somebody said they should make a TV show called Miami Ice instead of Miami Vice, and it's just
Nice. Yeah, Gen Z, the average Zoomer does not pay attention to conservative commentators sounding the alarm about birth rates. Okay, they just don't.
Yeah.
So, if we're talking in generalizations, they're not facing pressure about getting married, and I doubt that even the Zoomers who are in relationships, which is I would bet a minority, I don't think their parents are all too concerned with when they're getting married or if they're getting married either. Easy E said young people aren't facing pressure for marriage. Miss Watson is 35 though. If you've been a tax-paying adult for 15 plus years, you're not young anymore. Yeah, I don't know if she was trying to identify herself as one of those young people or...
She's like, hello there, fellow kids.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of millennials still think of themselves as kids.
I, too, am getting
maybe she
pressured
was.
from my parents about when I'm going to get married.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been, like, going to college for, like, 10 years. I don't know what she's doing with her life. I said the previous time we were talking about her, like, how is Emma Watson spending her time? Like, she doesn't work. She doesn't have a family, and she
just
also isn't even studying anything anymore.
Just mills around like a homeless person.
Is she just laying about? You know, she claims that she doesn't really watch TV or go on social media much.
If you're like a miller, if you like milling around, you know, there's something to be said about that lifestyle. The old Chinese people have been doing that for a while, and they seem pretty satisfied.
She's rarely seen in
They
public,
put their hands
though.
behind their back, and they kind of just look at construction sites and stuff. They love doing that. So maybe she's doing that. That could be a
We've got
possibility.
some Rumble rants. Token MAGA says, Zach Bryan looks like a pouty toddler in his new song.
He always looks like that. He looks disabled.
Spruel44 says, good to see you back, Mary.
Hi.
Hopefully you feel better soon. Brett, don't worry about the username. Just make up whatever you feel like. Mary, I must be old because I still say savage all the time.
Yeah, it's not really part of the Zoomer lexicon at this point. Savage hasn't... I don't know. I feel like that fell out of popularity after the, like, 2010s. Taylor Swift still says it.
Token MAGA says, I'll say it again. Metallica performed in front of 1 million at 28. Allie Moyer says, remember, most girls are attracted to a similar archetype to their father. And if these girls are attracted to that guy, that speaks loud and clear to a kind of dad they had.
I think they're on mind-altering drugs.
Or they're like actually trying to go the opposite of whatever their dad is like.
That too.
Spruel44, he says, for the record, it's pronounced spool with an R, so spruel. So yeah, so I had it right this time. It's Scottish. The E and L are my initials.
Wait, what?
That's his name.
Oh, okay.
I was like, so this, basically anytime you're out of town, it's just me confronting the fact that I can't read.
How are the Superchats?
They're even more indecipherable than normal.
On purpose?
Like, I don't know if on purpose, but what I realized one day is, like, because of the size of this monitor, I can't see periods that other people are like, no, there's a period there. So I'm going like this. I'm like, and I'm trying to like stare at the thing to read it, and it ain't working.
Well, not to worry, I'm back. Easy E said, to clarify, it's normal once you're in your 30s to feel that pressure because you have a closing window of opportunity, men and women, albeit faster.
Yeah, look, most of the TV shows that I watched, that I love, that I always rave about, is the great boomer shows of the 2010s, did have the female character who was career-driven and goal-oriented, and she hits some period when she gets to her 30s where she's like, what does it all mean? She wants to start a family. She wants to have kids. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But at least they ask the question. At least they, put forth the story as something tangible that was real.
Emma Watson seems to be a very melancholic person. Yeah. And what comes with that is, like, not just depressive episodes, but crippling idealism. And she comes off as someone who maybe has romanticized marriage to the point where she doesn't view it as realistic for most people.
That must be far... Who do you think that affects more, women or men?
They
Actually,
say
probably affects
men
them.
are more, like, romantic or sentimental. Like, women tend to approach relationships with more pragmatism than men do.
A more utilitarian approach.
But she sounds, like, cripplingly idealistic. Because she was talking about marriage as if it's a miracle. Like, no, I mean, most people have been doing it for decades, centuries, millennia. Like, it's a thing that's completely realistic. Henry Oria said, Mary, welcome back. I totally agree with you. I'm also all about good hygiene and cleanliness. Will you ever like to explore Japan? They have good hygiene, cleanliness, and aren't rude. Yeah, I would like to go to Japan at some point. I'm sure that they have cleaner bathrooms and better sanitation practices and probably are nicer. But they did just implement these anti-tourism laws because they have this they're kind of overrun with tourism, and it makes life like harder to navigate for people who actually live there. So they have like double prices at restaurants. If you ask for an English menu at a restaurant, all the prices are going to be inflated.
I went with my dad like a few years ago, and they like literally would not give you service if you're a foreigner at like some places.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're outside of like the major cities.
Yeah.
And they just get like the Japanese in general just get really stressed out if you're not Japanese.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a xenophobic thing. They just get like frustrated.
They just get like nervous.
Yeah, it just stresses them out. They're like, can you just do that somewhere else? Like, I don't care if you're not Japanese. Just don't do it around me.
It's also like at any of the theme parks or whatever, like if you're American or foreign in general, like you have to pay more for tickets than people who live there. So yeah, it would be more difficult to travel in Japan, but I would like to do that at some point. American Metal Mama said, got us some of Mary's cast brew. You were missed. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
We got a 20 there. From Rapscallion.
Welcome back, Mary, and happy Taco Tuesday. Bad TB. Oh, he means your initials. Brett Dasovic, Taco Bell, Mary Morgan. I don't know what that
Unless
means.
the middle one is tuberculosis.
I don't know. Henry Oria said, Mary, can you briefly talk about your travels? Have you been to Canada and Mexico? What other countries have you been to and enjoyed? Take care. I've not been to Mexico. I have been to Canada because of the recent trip I made to do Tammy Peterson's podcast, but I was only there for like a day or two. Yeah. Hated Toronto. It's just
Toronto's
soulless
bad.
and overrun with Sikhs, Hindus, Buddhists.
Toronto's just like JV New York, but the JV team was all Indians that year.
Terrible.
Yeah. Like it just feels like a worse version of New York in every way. And then it's compounded by the fact there's not even any Canadians anymore. It's all just Indians.
They were all so rude. Everybody there was so rude.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
how you know they've been replaced because the Canadians
it
are
was just
infamously
stressing
famous.
Olivia out. Like she's like nobody here knows how to walk properly, and they're all so damn rude. And like that's like I'm the type of person like if I'm walking in a mall and somebody's not watching where they're going, doesn't bother me. Dodge, move on. Olivia gets stressed when that stuff's happening. She's like, everybody's so rude here.
Well, also like the fact that people were bumping into me and walking super slow and like lingering behind me was freaking me out because of the pickpockets.
Yeah.
So I was shameless. Like if somebody was walking behind me and they were like too close,
Clutch your bag really close.
I purposefully made them see me. Like I was like I'm clutching my bag now and I'm going away from you. Like I'm aware of my surroundings. But yeah, other than Canada and Italy, I've been to Honduras. I've been to China, and I went to the UK as a baby, so that doesn't count. I went to Ireland 3 times. I went to France. I think that's it.
They call you the world traveler.
I'm very worldly. E7Z45 said, country music post 2010 is for dudes who wear things that I won't say. Wyatt Kaldenberg said, my generation screwed up the West with the youth revolution. We wanted to stay young forever like Peter Pan and never grow up. The 1960s have been poisoning the world for 65 years. The 60s sucked.
The youth worship thing is real.
Well, look, you can still be youthful like in Charlestown. You can be 70 years old, protesting the man.
Well, it was weirdly like a youth cult that was anti-birth.
Yeah.
Paradoxically. But thanks for admitting fault as a boomer.
Fair
Y'all
enough.
rarely do that.
I'm gonna be 25 next year.
Unk.
It's over for me. Like,
I'll tell
I should
you,
just kill myself.
I'm on the wrong side of 25 now. It doesn't feel good.
Oh.
And I'm over here like good, suffer with me.
Dude.
Welcome to being Unk.
Like my brain's gonna be fully developed next year. I don't know how I'm gonna celebrate. There's a lot of work to do in a year.
Just
I don't know if
really, you need to like drink a lot so that you lose the gray matter that you've solidified.
because I'm just like, there's so much that has to happen in like the next few months in order for my brain to be fully developed by 25. Because I'm missing a lot of pieces.
Got a lot to get done.
I still can't do like long division.
Yeah, no.
I forget.
The only reason this is true. I failed math like 3 times in college. And the only reason I passed was because ChatGPT released my junior year and like they hadn't caught it yet. So I could just use that for. Anyway,
Yeah, like-
I don't know if they'll take my degree away if they ever saw that.
I told Olivia, I'm like, I hope you're good at math because when we have kids, like,
Oh, it's over.
I'm not. It's not me.
Mhm.
It ain't me.
It's over.
You got the wrong one.
Like,
I'm
I can
not
help
the
with.
one.
I can help with gym class. That's about it.
Shane H. Wilder said he doesn't realize that he just ostracized most of the country fan base. If Toby Keith were here, he'd put a boot in his ass. It's the American way. I don't know if it's most of the country fan base, though.
I don't think it's necessarily that anymore.
Because country is so mainstream now. Leisha said, remember when Batman punched Harley Quinn in her face underwater because he doesn't discriminate? Batman is inclusive.
Batman.
That makes him a true
was that
feminist.
from the, like one of the animated series.
You're only a true male feminist if you're willing to punch a woman in the face in self-defense.
That's real. Someone said, "Shut up, I'll be 40 March." No, it's once you're over 30, then you're young again. It's just like
Oh.
late 20s is when you're really
30
old.
gives you a new lease on life?
30, like 31's like ain't. That's like a baby.
Thank you, Jay Z.
Yeah, you're like a baby. But if you're like 26, 20,
Yeah, it's not a number that sounds very good when you say it out loud.
ooh,
Yeah,
geez,
compared to
like-
30.
But then you're 30, 31. You're like, oh,
Mhm.
oh, you're young. You got plenty of time.
Right.
Right.
Give me a number 0123456789 said if you want a quick laugh, check out Gazoogle for Rizzle.
Oh, I remember Gazoogle. Yeah, that's a
What
good
is
site.
Gazoo-
It just
Oh.
translates the HTML.
I know.
to, yeah.
Okay, that makes
It was
sense.
in. Oh, so that was in the Suicide Squad movie, the David Ayer one. I remember Batman jumping off the bridge to go into the water after. I guess I forgot that part.
Pop culture.
I mean, look, it's Harley Quinn. She deserved it. She's gonna do it. She's gonna let the Joker do whatever he wanted, and say, "Good job, Mr. J." Like, it just no.
Maybe you should do the whole show in that voice.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That's, you know what? She had it coming.
Pop Culture Junkie said, Mary, I hope on your pluses and minuses list that your trip to Rome had more pluses. Being a pizza snob, I have also heard that pies are better in the US. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just like cheese bread there, because like they don't put tomato sauce on the pizza, and it's very thin, and I mean, you can't cut the burnt crust on the bottom with a dinner knife. You can't do that. It's really hard work. So I was pissed off that I even ordered pizza while I was there.
What else did you eat while you were there?
Carbonara, you gotta get that. But the best thing was always like, I got like a burger and I was like, this is it. Like, this is better than all of the local stuff.
Okay.
I want a burger. Also, the McDonald's there, they have like a full case of pastries, like baked goods that we don't have here. They have like macaroons and croissants and cute little like mini donuts and cream puffs at McDonald's.
It's like going to McDonald's in Spain and getting beer with it just for the novelty.
It's great.
To make beer.
Yeah.
That's why when I went to Rome, there was like this McDonald's and it was like in the basement of like of like this ancient building, and yeah, it was like they had like a cooler just full of like beers.
Yeah,
Like,
this
it
was like tap beer, like on like a thing in the like,
they had a full
oh yeah,
operation.
Yeah, the Burger Kings were trying to do that for a while. Remember that? The Burger Kings, they were trying to like
No.
bring taps. Yeah, they tried
In
it,
the
like,
US?
I believe they got approval for a few of them in the US.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
It's like the Taco Bell cantina.
I
Yeah.
would like
That would be-
Canada
I
to
wish I was
import
ubiquitous.
bar burrito here, though. Bar burrito is basically like Qdoba, and it's very
Oh.
good.
But yeah, as for my pros and cons, I got what I needed to get done in Rome because I was there for a pilgrimage, and in the Jubilee year they open the holy doors at the cathedrals, and when you pass through the holy doors, you get the plenary indulgence. So I did that. A lot of walking, but it was nice. Shane H. Wilder said, this reminds me of a friend of mine who was told he was a bad Mexican for not knowing Spanish. He said, my family is Brazilian, where they speak Portuguese, but as an American, I speak English. So he wasn't even Mexican?
He must be a really bad Mexican then. He wasn't even Mexican.
They told Selena Gomez that she's not a Latina because she doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I didn't even know that a faction existed that said that.
I guess that means that I'm not Polish because I don't speak.
I'm a terrible Mexican. Like I don't have any Mexican ancestry. Like I'm an awful Mexican.
The Manic Mustache sent a 20 that I missed earlier. Sorry about that. Late as usual, but apropos to long-term happiness, parenthood means dedicating your life to your child's future so that one day you can take the European vacation you promised your wife. Life is a gamble, and I always bet on my family. Stay toxic, my friends.
I mean, why put your children first when you can just like go on the trip with your wife and leave the kids at home? That's
I mean, you can get a babysitter.
that's the boomers
Or you
are
can
like,
drop
look,
them off in a cheaper country that's like for childcare, and then pick them up on your way back.
Yeah, just put them in the orphanage for the week. And
Drop them off. And
no
like,
one will adopt them. It'll
like
be
look,
fine.
like maybe if
kids,
we
I
have
hope you like Senegal.
or like you try to pawn the kids off on a babysitter for like a week and nobody takes them, so you purposely get in a fight and have CPS called and they take the kids for a week, so you can take a vacation and then come back and get them back.
Now you're thinking.
Like no.
Like,
no.
go to the
mommy hates daddy. Mommy hates daddy. Oh, we hate each other.
Go to the most public place you can and just get into a knockdown drag out with your spouse.
Do like a Lola Young style. Whoa.
And then they're like you're like this, and you're like, no, don't take my kids.
No, please, no. All right, well, we'll see you next week, I guess.
When's the hearing?
Yeah. Can also, by any chance, gluten allergy, can you drop us off at the airport on the way? If you have room in the cruiser, it's not a big deal. If not, we can Uber.
Creative.
Oh, no, we
solutions.
hate each other. Our marriage is on the rocks. Yeah, oh, jeez. Yeah, well, we hate our kids, too. They're awful. See you Monday, Mommy. Love you.
200 Watt Studio said, Hail Mary, glad surgery went well. You look the same. Okay, I don't know what to make of that. Shane H. Wilder said, Mary, try Fisherman's Friend for the cough. It will clear up quick. Brett, try the leg lengthening surgery. Tate, I got nothing. Keep doing you.
I already said that. When I saw Alyssa Milano as having the breast implants out, I said she inspired me to not get the leg lengthening surgery because I'm perfect just the way I am.
That's actually what I was gone to do. I was getting the leg lengthening surgery. I'm in a wheelchair right now, but you just can't see it.
And then we'll make AI videos with you fighting Stephen Hawking.
It's funny because if I did get the leg lengthening surgery, I would only be like your height, Brett.
Yeah.
Rob Scallion said, welcome back, Mary. Oh, we already read that one. No Control said it's National Taco Day.
I saw that Snackolator had like a list of where the best taco deals were for today.
What did you see? Taco deals?
There was like it was like Taco Bell, like all the ones you normally have heard of, but
not really into tacos that much.
Oh man, maybe we'll go get tacos tonight so they can be like, oh my god, they're here because it's national.
Gracious.
That's the meme. That's the meme where they want you to feel uncomfortable doing anything at all. It's the meme of Stephanie McMahon smiling really big, and it says the white woman after ordering her Mexican food in English. Gracias.
No, you gotta say it.
Gracious.
Gracious. Shane H. Wilder said, if you ever visit Sweden, do not go in August when they have the Surströmming Festival. I made that mistake. The smell of fermented fish was palpable.
Well, geez, I mean, it's better than like halal freaking everything now. You go to
I'm-
Sweden, get like a grenade thrown in your hotel.
I'm never going to Sweden. I have no interest in going to Sweden or any of those like Scandinavian countries because they're all weirdos, you know.
Hoogan, fluken, dugan, boogan. It's like, okay, dude.
Yeah,
relax.
and they don't have good food.
The
and it's
Saabs,
cold,
the
probably.
Saabs were cool.
The what?
Saabs, like the vehicle,
What are
car
those?
brand.
The car,
Yeah,
a Saab.
car.
I have no idea what that is.
Those were cool. Maybe that's why you don't want to go to Sweden because the Saabs are
Because
cool.
you've never driven in a Saab before.
ABBA was cool. I want to go to Iceland. That's Scandinavian. Iceland seems cool. Bjork's cool. Bjork's super cool.
Yeah, Iceland that's more appealing for some reason.
But yeah, like Sweden.
It's amazing how
the Swedish chef from the Muppets. That guy was awesome.
it's amazing how long Bjork has remained, at least
The zeitgeist.
Yeah.
I never thought her music was good.
Bjork.
There's a $10 from Well Spoken Token.
Brett, you're wrong. If you ask people from what we speak, they would say English.
I'm assuming he's in China.
I don't know.
But Bjork is, Bjork for me was relevant because there was a period of time in the skating industry where everybody had a Bjork song in their video, just like you had to have a freaking Radiohead song in the video. I hate Radiohead so much.
I don't think I've ever like heard a Bjork song.
I don't know any
Ever.
song she sings. Bjork.
I wouldn't be able to name one.
But Radiohead would be in everything, and I'm like, who? Like, this isn't good. Like, I understand that people like it, but it's not.
I just
good.
know she's from Iceland, and there's like no one else from there.
We need a revival of Eurodance.
Yeah.
All of a
Cascada.
dream.
No one's like
How
happy
does
anymore
it mean?
because we don't have Eurodance.
Bring back Cascada, and
I like made a
every time you
Eurodance or a Europop playlist actually.
I was in Europe for Eurovision. I think it was
Darude Sandstorm, of course.
That's a based one. I was in Europe for Eurovision, like I think it was 2023, and I remember watching it because I listened to the Eurodance playlist from the 90s, and a lot of those songs came out of Eurovision, and I was watching it then, and it was just like total freak show. Like there was like girls with beards and like, and there was like Turkish people. Like it was wild.
There's also.
It was getting crazy.
You think you're better off alone.
Yep.
And then
Stereo Love, of course. Mr. Saxo Beat.
Here's to the night.
Every time we touch.
Everything Cascada is great.
Mhm.
Eurodance.
And also, I don't know why, but I feel like Enrique Iglesias also like fits into that world.
Yeah.
You know.
Was it? We were like somehow Enrique Iglesias I think came up when we were.
I'm a scat man. That's a good one.
Yeah, he totally did. He was like. He's born in like 1975 and he's still making music today. Like he's still releasing albums.
Well, that wasn't that long ago.
It's like
He's in
but
his
the
40s,
thing is, he was already famous when I was a kid. So he got famous young and is still like he's on like studio album number 14. And the guy's like, I was gonna stop, and then made more music. And
The best Eurodance was L'amour toujours. I think that's how you say it.
I think that came up because I was like, who we should have do the halftime show? Enrique Iglesias, the ones who did the Macarena, and
the Blue Man Group.
And the Blue Man Group. That one was pitched.
Wait,
by
did
a lot
you
of
actually
people.
say
I
that?
did not say that, but a lot of
okay.
people online were pitching Blue Man Group. Would have been great.
What are they up to?
Probably a residency at a casino in like Oklahoma. It's usually how it goes.
I would have been happier with like Madonna, honestly.
I mean, get Ricky Martin, except for those, he got those like creepy charges,
no.
creepy allegations.
Who doesn't
the other
have
year.
creepy charges?
No.
That means you're doing something right. Mambo number 5 is a good one. That's like the perv anthem. No, L'amour toujours. Is that how you say
they
it?
should have gotten.
It's the racist one where people were chanting like Auslander Rouse.
I would have paid
Germany.
good money to go there and hear Shaggy perform "It Wasn't Me."
Did you see recently he admitted it was him?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like recently.
Dude,
I was like, is he on his deathbed?
The music video to that song goes so hard.
Yeah.
Like it's like I love music videos from the late 90s.
You know
I
what?
believed him. I was like, it must not be him.
Why would he say otherwise?
Yeah,
I
I
wish-
wonder who it is.
I wish it were Justin Bieber doing the halftime show.
That would have
would
been
be
good
sick.
too.
That's
I mean, I'm not
white
gonna lie.
excellence.
Like the new albums just aren't that great. Like all the songs, they sound like pre-made beats. They don't have anything unique like the stuff that he was releasing in the early 2010s.
He's creeping me out.
With like
These days.
the beat for Company is like one of a kind.
Yeah.
Like that song,
Really, that whole album.
that whole album is all you, and that was kind of my point with Taylor Swift was like when I listened to Style, like I said, the backing track sounds like it could be from an episode of Miami Vice. When you listen to I Knew You Were Trouble, it's got this weird dubstep hook. And you listen to 2010's Justin Bieber, and all of the beats were something unique.
Yeah, he lost his spark. And he is like creeping me out, like the faces that he's making. Have
Yeah.
you noticed that? Like he keeps making these weird faces, like he's like Charlie Chaplin or something.
Did you see like the people
Sorry.
making?
He's like constantly making that face that Albert Einstein made.
Oh yeah.
He's like constantly licking his lips. And,
Yeah.
Oh, I see Jamiroquai.
Thank you. And also with Justin Bieber, I'm just like, dude, like put a shirt on, grow up, take yourself seriously. Stop posing with a bong on Instagram like a teenager.
Don't listen
Like,
to her. Keep
You're a father.
keep dripping out. Keep the swag on.
It's just
Stay swagged
weird.
out. Stay,
I mean that
Whatever.
the album was literally called Swag, so
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense.
Shane H. Wilder said, if the list doesn't have Eiffel 65's Blue Dabba-Dee or Raquel's In a Dream, is it really a complete Europop playlist? It's a work in progress. Okay.
Daniel's music in K Daniel's music on Rumble says, is Brett talking about the new Justin Bieber? Because if so, you're so wrong. You didn't listen to it. Well, yes, I did, and I just disagree with you. It's
I like
just my
What
personal
was it
opinion.
called? Flower?
I don't know.
No.
There was a couple on the first Swag album, like 1, not 2, that I liked. But like nothing on 2 really stood out to me. But that's just me. Like I said, I don't know if it's like, I'm not saying that my take is the right one. I'm saying that I didn't find it compelling in any way, shape, or form. You know what we need? I was putting it, Craig David should have had a generational run. 7 days, fill me in. Like he had Walking Away. He's like, he was great. He was he had that remix for 7 Days with Mos Def. Like Craig David, and then he just released a song with JoJo. It was like the late 90s and the early 2000s came together and hugged and made a song. I would have rather seen a Craig David halftime show. Dude was smooth. All right, before we go, would you guys hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed yet already? Please and thank you. Tate, where can they find you?
You can find me on, everywhere at Real Tate Brown. Come find me there. I'll be in the morning show again, or the noon live tomorrow and Thursday. We got some good guests lined up, so we'll see you there.
All right.
You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived. We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. My wonderful mother would make Swedish dishes like lutefisk, cod soaked in lye. Ugh. When the relatives came over, bless her, she would let me go to McDonald's. The house smelled awful for a week. Yeah, that sounds awful. And also, if we have the link in the description,
I can put it in there.
That would be great. We'll add the link to my cast brew flavor in the description of this video, where you can get Mary's Ghost Blend. It's s'mores flavored, and it just smelled delicious.
Yep. I put it in the live chat here. I will add it to the description box after the show.
I'll admit I don't have it yet, and I haven't tried it yet. But when I smelled the sample, it smelled amazing. So I endorse it.
All right. Guys, if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than just watch this show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. It's a great way to help us out as well. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.